With the current revival of Mortal Kombat X, we've been reminded of something that's always existed but rarely explained, and that's gimmicks. As many eyes are now back on this game, we figured it's a good time to make another one of our mini instructional videos to hopefully help out some of the newer players just jumping in, or returning players looking to jog their memory. This short video covers what gimmicks are, why they work, and some in-game examples. The dictionary term for the word gimmick is, and I quote, "something that is not serious or of real value that is used to attract people's attention or interest temporarily." Now, in the FGC sense, you can loosely see why this word is used. Gimmick may be a term that is definitely thrown out too often, most of the time out of salt. However, it does have a definition and a place in-game. A gimmick is something in the game, usually a mix-up, that appears to be real on face value. However, there is a guaranteed way to eliminate it entirely, and depends on the opponent's ignorance or lack of knowledge to work successfully. These things usually hit an opponent early on, but as the set progresses or the more you learn about the matchup, they should become completely obsolete once you learn how it works, and this is why the term gimmick is used. Here are a few examples of a gimmick in action.
You have eyes, but will not see. I will see you die.
Inferno's back 3 low minion on block is the absolute classic example of a gimmick. It's been hitting people since 2015. We always joke about it because it shouldn't work, but it does, and here's why. Back 3 2 forward 2 is a universal string that ends in an overhead. Low minion hits as a low. What happens is, the opponent blocks the back 3 and immediately stands up because the string ends in the overhead. So the result is that the opponent stands up too early and the minion hits them earlier for a full combo. The reason this is a gimmick and not a mix-up is because the back 3-2 is a mid. You only need to stand for the third and final hit, not the second. Simply block low for an extra hit and stand up once forward 2 comes out. If you do it this way, low minion will never connect because your low block will work every single time. It's the opponent's lack of knowledge of that string that causes them to eat low minion. For the record, back 3 low minion in itself is still a risky but rewarding way to meatlessly combo off back 3 should the back 3 hit first. It's only a gimmick when done on block with the intent of the opponent blocking back 3 and getting hit by the minion. Cyrax is a case of a character with multiple gimmicks, but we'll just focus on one for the purpose of the video. We've all seen the Cyrax mid-air net hard to blockables, but a popular one involves an early bomb, into a jump in punch or kick, into bomb explosion. This is a supremely tight hard to blockable that hits players the majority of the time. However, it's a gimmick, and that is because, though in a rather unconventional manner, it can be jumped out of on reaction. The second Cyrax leaves the ground for that jump, you hold up. The jump normal hits you, and you're completely out of danger. A perfect example of a Cyrax gimmick, but you see it work often due to players either not knowing the matchup or being so overwhelmed by Cyrax's endless setups that perhaps they struggle to remember which are gimmicks and which are real. That's not to say that gimmicks should never be used, as again, it all comes down to your opponent's knowledge and your ability to exploit that, based on how comfortable your opponent seems to be. This one's a bit more specific, but definitely worth mentioning. If Cyber Sub-Zero forward 4-3s certain characters who stand block and he cancels into close dive kick, he's significantly plus, guaranteeing more pressure if they disrespect the plus frames. Seems good, right? Wrong! This is a gimmick, and here's why. Not only is the 3 in forward 4-3 completely neutral crouchable, as we all know by now, Cyber Sub-Zero lacks any tool to cancel after forward 4 to deter you from the crouch in the first place. The other Borgs may have other options, like Sector's Teleport, or Smoke's meterless forward 4 down 1, or Cyrax's Buzzsaw, but Cyber Sub's options being either Slide or Enhanced Ice Ball actually come out so fast that letting go of block at the right time after forward 4 will both block these follow-ups and then crouch the 3 if he goes for that instead, preventing the dive kick from even coming out and giving you a punish. We're finishing this video with Master of Storm's Raiden, because in our opinion, it's one of, if not the most gimmicky variation in the whole game. Every Master of Storm's player you see will try and use the orbs on block. There is not a single time this is safe to do. Cancelling into orbs takes a long time, and often you can simply punish him for doing so. This isn't the gimmick though. The gimmick is what usually comes next. Set up an orb before you start your attack and go in afterwards with the intent on creating the chain. The opponent tries to punish and bam, they get hit and you get a combo. The problem with this is that orbs still take a long time to activate. Once the orb is cancelled into, your opponent can backdash to safety, and Raiden has next to no options to stop you from doing this. In turn, there is nothing to fear. Both your down 4 will go under the orbs as they are high, and backdash will move you out to safety. The only way to get damaged here is to fight back, which only happens if you don't know the matchup, in turn making these orbs, for the most part, one giant gimmick. Hopefully, this video has helped shed some light on what the gimmick is, as, like we said earlier, it's a very common word used on streams, online sessions, and the like. Not everything is a gimmick, make no mistake, but we wanted to show some examples of what gimmicks are, and how you can tell apart what's real and what isn't. When in doubt, just hit the lab, recreate the scenario, and if the opponent has no way of stopping what could be a guaranteed answer, it's a gimmick. Let us know what you think as always, and we'll see you next time.